Hello, boys and girls, it's your boy, King Jiffy Coats, and Ben, of course, from Nat1 Games. Incredible videos on his end.
Oh, we're doing a video.
He's like, get in script reading mode. I got like 37 pages to get through. I need to explain every ball hair on the main protagonist from Lords of the Fallen. Not the remake, but the original.
Yes.
But this is, I think this is episode 20. I think we've made it 20 episodes, which is awesome. I've had fun with all of this. It's I love this show. It's my favorite.
It has been your favorite.
I like this more than my main channel stuff sometimes. Me
too.
Like my main channel stuff as much as I have fun making it. I get real grind setty with it. And
it's a lonelier road when you're by yourself in the lagoon cave, plugging away at games and scripts and shit.
Yeah, dude, and the amount of schizo stuff that I do in my videos is just like makes me feel insane sometimes, especially when I'm doing like multiple back-to-back. And this is just relaxing. It's fun. I love doing this. So I'm glad we made it 20 episodes, and I'm glad that we're going through more of our Reddit stories. It's always fun doing this, dude. I love it. Of course, we're going to start off with one of the mainstays here on Haunted Routers, one of the big friends of the channel, Deathlord Gaku-kun.
We love our Death Lords.
Dude, he's written a bunch of cool stories. We've read, this is the third one, right?
I think third or fourth. Third or fourth, yes.
Something like that. But this is called Yesterday Something Possessed Me.
July 30th, 8:44 a.m. I woke up this morning face down at my home office desk. I've never done this before. My head beat hard inside. What? Oh, my head beat hard inside as if my blood pumping muscle was transplanted in my cranium. I couldn't move. The pain seeped downward at the pace of tree molasses as I lay paralyzed. Neck inflamed, spine tightening, lungs straining. I think I was dying. I've had one, maybe two panic attacks before in my entire life, or maybe it was just severe dehydration. I'd get tunnel vision and the blackout, and then blackout. It definitely means and then. One time I was in the shower, and another was laying in bed as I felt the sickest I've ever been. This felt worse. I felt exhausted, and I somehow had the feeling that if I went back to sleep, I'd never wake back up. Did I hit my head? Probably. Not sure I managed that because last night I went to sleep in my bed. Was I drinking last night? No. I've been sober since October, so that can't be right. Pussy. I haven't had alcohol in the house since before then either. I felt a hand on my shoulder as I bolted straight in my home office chair. The pain vanished.
Dude, have you ever seen, you know who David Faraday is, right?
I think so. Not off the top of my head.
So he was like a golf announcer. He was like the biggest golf announcer for the longest time. If you ever played the old Tiger Woods games, he was the one always saying, like, "Oh, that's in the cabbage. You're not gonna like that shot." He was like the old Scots
I've heard these
boy.
Sound clips. Yeah.
He was like the guy, and he had such a bad drinking problem that he would go to bed and he'd put an extra bottle of scotch next to his bed so he could drink that when he woke up. The whole bottle.
An extra bottle of scotch?
Yeah. So he'd go to bed with the bottle.
I've never heard of an extra bottle of scotch.
So he was drinking a bottle. He set that one down. He had an extra, so when he woke up, he'd have a full bottle of scotch.
Good lord. So he made sure it didn't go dry.
His daughter got to the point one day he was like, he had finished his bottle and he was going to go get another bottle of scotch. And his daughter was like 6 or something. She already was bringing him a bottle of scotch.
You made it sound like he was an adult baby. Like he was laying in bed and he finished his first bottle and his daughter had to go get him another one. Like,
he was like an alcoholic baby, and that moment
it sounds
was like he was.
She's a 6-year-old mom.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if she was 6. I think she was young like that though. And she brought him a bottle of scotch, and he was like, "I need to stop. I need to stop drinking. This has gotten way too far." Someone's in the cabbage.
Yeah.
Where were you all night?
I turned my head to the left as my wife stood there, arms crossed.
I don't know,
I muttered, her brow furrowed in disappointment.
I'm heading to work,
she said, adjusting her purse as it hung over the left shoulder of her suit jacket.
You should probably take a shower. You look like death.
I stared at her.
I thought I was going to die.
Her eyes abruptly adjusted to signify concern.
What do you mean?
Put my hand in my face as I processed what had just happened.
I woke up with this pain like a shot through my body. I had the worst headache imaginable.
A sigh of relief left my wife's mouth as her posture was now untensed.
Babe, if you slept at your desk, I bet your neck is killing you.
I reached the back of my neck only to now realize the pain was gone.
It doesn't hurt now. It did when I first woke up.
She shrugged and started walking toward the front door, while talking louder as she faced away from me.
Oh, don't forget, we have bowling tonight with Marco and Amy.
Now I was confused.
Did it get rescheduled? I thought it was tomorrow.
She opened the front door.
No, the plan didn't change. It's still tonight.
Her head turned to me.
Love you, babe.
I wave.
I love you too.
The front door shuts, and I am now alone with my thoughts. I then had an internal conversation with myself as I scratched my head.
Tonight? I could have swore we planned for it Wednesday night.
I looked over at the corner of my computer screen. It was Wednesday.
Dun dun dun!
Dun dun dun!
So,
Wednesday!
Obviously what happened, right, is she was chloroformed and brought to a room and where the walls were all very fuzzy vaginas. The walls were just all very fuzzy vaginas. And the floor was a shag carpet of micro skinny penises. No girth to these, because you can't have shag carpet with girthy penises. And as he woke up and he went into the other room, he was then greeted by a celestial terror of a creature that's body was like a normal human's, but as it turned its head, it was like a long, girthy, like neck of like a giraffe. But on the end of it, like just like square, flat on the end of this neck, was a face. Now this face was just like typical Joe, you know. It could look like Dave Chappelle. Sometimes you look away, it looks like Kevin Hart. Sometimes you look away, it looks like Will Forte. You never really know what this face looks like, and that alone was terrifying enough, especially with the static screen of like an old TV in the background, just the only light in this room. And when he said you now can progress to your further advantages into life through that door over there, and as he stepped outside to the world of sand, dread, and blood, where it's always raining blood, but it's always dry sand, and you're always thirsty because you're not a vampire. You can't just drink the sky. You realize that you would rather go on with life not remembering that than actually doing it. So it's better to just skip that day and go straight to bowling.
Before I started my work, I decided to check the story. No, that was good. You lost me at Celestial Visitor with the penis shag rug.
No, he didn't have a penis shaft neck. It was a giraffe neck. And giraffe
no,
necks
the penis shag rug.
Oh, the penis shag rug. No, you're not thinking about it right. These are like red rocket penises.
I'm not thinking about it right.
You're not thinking about it right. So when he steps down, he's like, this is a weirdly squishy shag rug. That's kind of crazy. I don't really mess with shag rugs too often because I'm not born in the 60s. But this is a weird one. And you look down, there's a bunch of little red rockets floating in the wind? That's crazy. That's terrifying. I wouldn't want to remember that.
And that's when girthy giraffe...
No, he walked out of that room. He walked out of vagina shag rug room to a room that was just empty with a chair with a girth giraffe man thing.
Oh, okay. So I thought girthy giraffe man...
His kidnappers dropped him into vagina penis room, and he went out to like the most terrifying looking man in the world. It was just like a skinny, lanky, fucking naked man with a fucking giraffe neck and a face on the end of it. It wasn't even like the neck went. It was just face on the end of neck. You know, like if you cut my head off and put my face staring up at the ceiling, that's how this head would look on this neck. That's terrifying.
Just face on the end of neck.
Yeah, like no hair, no nothing. It's just a fucking face on the end of a tube.
Okay.
Like, could you imagine how scary that would be? It'd be terrifying. I wouldn't know how to fucking handle that. One day it's Dave Chappelle, the other is Will Forte. Yeah, we can handle that shit.
It is your line.
Oh, is it really? No, it's not. You said before I started worrying. I said I didn't check the story. Go fuck yourself, Ben. I'm just adding context.
I'm just fucking with you.
I'm adding context.
No, I like that we got. That was a very, very detailed acid trip that you took us on there.
Yeah.
And I like that you. Where you had a lot to back it up too. When I was very confused at the end of it, you were like, "No, man," and you walked me back through it and clarified a lot. I appreciate
sometimes the story isn't as written well as you think it is until you
20 episodes in, ladies and gents.
You just got to figure it out.
Before I started my work, I decided to check the story I posted about the Worm Shack. Then, check the story I posted about the Worm Shack.
So it was Deathlord Gargothicon.
Continuity. This is Deathlord Gargothicon.
So we confused it in the last episode. I confused it. I gaslit him into believing it because, well, let's face it, I'm a pretty charismatic guy and I talk a lot, so I can get away. I just brute force my self through everything. But he was right. I was wrong again. I mean, everybody should just know that I'm wrong 90% of the time. I'm the idiot guy. Shag penis rug? What is that? Nobody cares about that. That's weird.
I liked it. I liked face on the end of neck.
Yeah, face.
I like that a lot. Dude. I'm gonna remember. That's gonna be in a nightmare I'm having tonight.
You want to hear? This is a real nightmare I had. You ready for this?
It's gonna be Jeff coming up to me with just a face on the end of a neck.
No.
He's gonna be like, "See, it's just like this, dude." And he's gonna be like, "Now look down." So, and I'm gonna look down and be like, "The carpet."
So this is a real dream I had. The real dream I had, and I guess this could be inspiration behind the thing I just made up, but this actually happened. So I was having a dream, right? And I was at like a family reunion of sorts, and we're at this family reunion. Everybody's talking to me, and then fucking Phil walks in. Now I didn't know who the fuck Phil was, but he creeped me the fuck out. Like he was a horse. He was a horse, but where the horse head should be was face on neck. The real dream. Somewhere in my house, I have a drawing of Phil. Phil. Yeah, no.
Okay, all right. So you actually saw this, and now you're infecting the rest of us with it.
No, so
this goes out to the internet.
Hold on. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. It was, except for the neck was longer. Instead of just going straight, it like curved. It like snaked out, and his head would like move around, and everybody was super nice to Phil. Now Phil is just a fucking face, like a little dome. It would look like it was rounded on the end, like a worm, right? But it was a head. Like it had the facial features, but it was just like worming out like this, and the fucking trotting around this family reunion. No hair on this horse. This thing was just fucking like human skinned, terrifying, right? Super scary. Human skin, and one of my cousins walked up to me. I was like an uncle or something. I can't remember. This is a long time ago for the dream, so I'm not gonna remember the family member right. Walked away. Why are you always so weird with Phil? I'm like, I just don't talk to him that much. You should really talk to Phil. Everybody wants you to talk to Phil. And you keep avoiding Phil. And in the dream, I was actively avoiding Phil. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
There's no way I was going to go talk to, like, human skin horseman, neck on face, or face on neck. There's no way I was going to do that. Then I'm getting a drink, right? I'm getting a drink at the bar. Typical, like, wedding bar or family reunion bar, small. I'm getting a drink, and all of a sudden, just, hey, Jeff, been a long time. I, like, jumped back. I was like, hi, Phil. It's good seeing you. You're looking good, buddy. And it was just normal conversation after that. We had a decent conversation, but the whole time there was nothing I wanted to. I was looking for my wife in the dream. That's all I was doing, was trying to find my wife to tell her, because I was like, I've been in the dream. You know how you like tell yourself it's all real? You know, it was very lucid in that, and I was like, Dahlia has to see Phil. I was like, Dahlia has to see that I'm related to this fucking thing. I don't know what happened to create Phil, but she needs to see Phil, and she needs to get me out of here and be my distraction. And I couldn't find her, and I woke up, and she was right next to me. And I told her about the dream, and she was like, what the fuck? I can't even imagine what you're talking about. So I drew Phil. It was a terrible drawing. I'm not an artist or anything.
I need you to find this and send it to me, so that if we can get somebody to animate this, we need it. This is gonna be our first animated episode. This is our new mascot, is Phil.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty sure it was Phil. I'm almost positive it was Phil. Dahlia, what? Wasn't it Phil? Remember that dream I had about the horse skin person with the neck that I drew?
I feel like his name was Phil, yeah.
It was Phil? Okay.
Something along those lines, that vibe.
You heard her, right? Yeah, so I'm telling you, this isn't made up. This is a real thing that happened. I woke up.
No, I didn't think you were making it up at all. No, I did not think that.
It was crazy, bro. But like, there's nothing scary about the dream. It was just Phil was fucking weird, dude.
I disagree. I think that's probably the scariest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life, actually, Jeff. To be honest with you, man.
I've had way worse dreams. That was like tame. My dreams are terrifying. Like, awful. But that one was normal. I just remember, like, get Phil the fuck away from me. I'm chilling. I don't want to talk to him. He seems kind of weird. Cool guy in retrospect in the conversation part, but really creepy.
I need this picture. I need to see Phil animated. All right. Anyway. All right. So, back to our lovely narrator, sitting on the couch, because I completely lost where the fuck we were when you took me on that journey. This is like 4 episodes in one already. I then found something. Before I started my work, I decided to check the story I posted about the Worm Shack, which I loved. I then found something I did not post. It was a 4-part story from a man who claimed to be several different people, including me. I don't remember posting this, let alone writing it. You'd think if I spent all day writing one story, I'd remember it, but I don't. In fact, I don't remember Tuesday at all. So I read it, all 4 parts, and I'm conflicted. I didn't write this, yet it's on my account. He even flared it as, I'm not the author. In some subreddits, at least he was honest. The logical assumption is that my account got hacked, but after reading the story, I'm starting to think that I was possessed. Now, that might seem like a strong conclusion to make without any evidence, but then why can't I remember yesterday? I'm going to leave those parts up, mostly because I'm fascinated with this whole situation, and I will leave you with what he wrote on my account yesterday. Hopefully one day, I'll find you again.
Am I supposed to read this?
Yeah.
Okay. July 29th, 9:50 a.m. If you have an off day for no good reason and you can't figure out why everything is going wrong, I have to apologize because it was my fault, and I am sorry. How do I know this? Every morning I wake up a new person. No, not in some metaphorical, I'm gonna change my life sort of way, but literally. I only had this idea to write about it here on subreddit until after the 7th attempt. Hopefully I'll get lucky this time. It feels like a weird challenge that I've accidentally brought upon myself, though in retrospect I've never touching anything close to witchcraft ever again. People think that witches, black magic, and witchcraft are either aesthetic or an actual place, or an actual practice. I can tell from experience that there is something demonic controlling those Ouija boards and tarot cards. I made the stupid mistake as a teenager, and I regret it every day. The spiritual world is real, and I have my doubts growing up, and typically people find revelations in Jesus Christ, while I found it on a horrifying opposite spectrum. I only have 24 hours to collect my thoughts and jot down everything on this guy's Reddit account. Some guy named DG Wheathick. Wheathick? DG.
I like wheat thick.
Wheat thick. He's got some thick wheat, baby.
He's got some thick wheat.
Dude, it's like barbed like wheat, or like a cat's penis. Yeah, yes. I feel bad for cats, dude. What a horrifying way. Like, especially girl cats, dude. They just position their vagina up to get just fucking cactus fucked. Terrifying.
I mean, they scream for it. Trust me. I've lived in a fucking middle of a billion stray cats outside.
Yeah, dude. I'm just gonna let you know that. Yeah, if I had barbs on my penis, I would think like twice about having sex. It just sounds awful. Anyway,
I got used to it.
I got used to it. I don't care if he deletes it, I just need somebody to see this. I've lived too many lives to keep track of who I was that I have decided to focus on who I am now. His life is pretty normal. A lot of his writings have started as real life experiences, but then manifested into horrors that
could very well happen. For perceiving himself as someone who constantly deals with depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts, I can tell he is drawing from a chapter of his life that he isn't presently in, as a form of therapy to heal past traumas, even if the trauma is as simple as overthinking. He lives in a quiet neighborhood and with his own family and works from home to take care of his kids. I won't go too in-depth past that due to the fact that I am not this man's soul and feel weird talking about it any further than that. The other trick is to make the person think they have been inspired to do something out of the ordinary, like write a story on Reddit. Luckily for me, he started posting stories, so this was perfect time for me to finally talk about my experience, especially because the other one so far didn't have a Reddit. I will keep you updated, but for now, I have to tend to this guy's normal, alright? The normal life, so as not to raise suspicion once I'm gone. In the meantime, how do I fix this? July 29th, 11:15 a.m. I went to see if I got any responses on my story. Got deleted because I think I flared it wrong. If people want to think this is just a story, that's fine. So I'll tag it as fan-made story instead of question. Hopefully that fixes the problem. July 29th, 1:18 p.m.
I think we're supposed to be switching back and forth here.
No, because this is him still. This is just a different day.
Okay.
Or a different time. Okay. This is the same day, but a different time. Because remember, he's 24 hours.
Gotcha. Okay.
I used to fear death, now I die every day. They say you are who you hang out with. That's something my first parents always told me. The sentiment was echoed 2 days ago at church when I was just a 6-year-old girl in what I believed to be a kid's room of the chapel. Creepy. It was a foreign country since I don't know what the teacher was saying, so I knew it wasn't English. I kept my mouth shut, even when talked to, so less suspicion was raised. After church, it was lunchtime. My stomach growled louder than I've ever heard it, and it hurt. My mom and I stood in a line outside our empty pots as the crowd of people around us screamed for sustenance. The reason I heard my first parents' words once again echo in my head was because a day later I was back in America as the CEO of one of the biggest media corporations. I went to my office, turned on the TV to see the news, and I dropped the remote, mouth agape when I saw people are still starving in Gaza. Oh my God. And I was a billionaire. At the moment, my heart sank to the bottom of my stomach. I knew what I had to do. I attempted to log into my phone and computer, but I didn't know the passwords. And apparently it was against company policy to save passwords on your work device for security reasons, according to my secretary. I tore that office to shreds, attempting to find any hidden passwords he had written down on a sticky note or a file somewhere, since he was a 40-year-old man who probably didn't have the best memory. I then let my secretary know I was having an early lunch. I raced to my $1 million home, unlocked the door, and went to my computer. I sat at his office home, turned on the computer, and after a few minutes I was met with yet another password screen. I screamed. Then I thrashed his house, digging through every nook and cranny for even a clue of a key to this monster's secret digital portal. How do we know this guy's a monster? Because he has money?
Yes.
Okay. Found nothing useful. I drove back to work. I fought the CFO of this company tooth and nail to do anything to make a positive change with the company's wealth for charity's sake.
It's charity demon.
Oh my God, dude. Fuck this guy. What an asshole. Listen, I'm gonna go into somebody else's life. I don't want to mess with the first guy because he seems artistic and cool. The second guy, though, he has money, dude. Fuck him, dude. We're gonna take all of his money and just give it away. Crazy. Whoa. Could you imagine waking up the next morning? Hold on. We'll get to the end of this. Could you imagine waking up the next morning and all your assets are gone and your company has changed complete direction?
Yeah, no, that would be something else. That would be something to wake up to for
so
sure.
much, dude.
I think actually I would be even more pissed though if I was, because this like consciousness is like I was a 6-year-old girl starving in like a bread line and stuff like that, and then the next day I was like this billionaire 40-year-old guy and stuff like that. I think I'd be more pissed if I was like the 6-year-old that was starving.
Yeah,
and like or as like I got like a day off and then like I wake up the next day and I'm still a starving 6-year-old. Like that fucking blows.
That's very valid.
And the reason I was just able to draw a really quick line where you were like, why is this guy a monster? Because he has money. And I was like, well, it's not just that. It's that he owns a media company. So like, yeah, like almost objectively,
they don't do a good job. It's all
he's Harvey Weinstein right now.
Yeah, there you go. He has his own 6-year-old girls to take care of.
Yeah, right. He ran out there and was like, where's my password? And the secretary was like, I don't know your password. And he was like, shut up. And then like just ran back in there real quick.
I bought the CFO this morning, tooth and nail, wealth and charity sake, but he just stared blankly at me as if I was a deer in the headlights, and the car was me tarnishing my credibility as a CEO. I ranted with more anger and frustration than I ever thought I could muster. His only response was, "Why are you even watching our competitor in the first place?"
July 29th, 5:02 p.m. In 8 hours, I will no longer exist. Time is a constant rotation of burdens. At least, that is what I thought before their lives became mine. Now, I feel like I've gained a newfound respect for perspective. Perspective is something I did not have when I was only 17. It's that weird age where you no longer feel like a kid, but you're still not an adult. The age where logic is fleeting and stupidity isn't. Even though I'm technically 25 now, I still feel 17. Preach it, brother. I've been so many different ages, I don't even know how old I'd consider myself anymore. The mistake I made was at 17. I used to wish for everything. My first parents jokingly said that if I kept that up, I'd become a Make-A-Wish mascot. Is it bad to say that I'd rather be a Make-A-Wish kid? Meanwhile, my sis...
I wish I had cancer as a child. That would make life better.
And he's even wishing to be a Make-A-Wish kid at this point. It's gone full like Ouroboros. Meanwhile, my sister called me wishy-washy. That's racist. And my brother called me Winston Churchill. Your brother's a nerd, dog. Your brother
gets hit by a bus, bro.
Yeah, your brother's either Lil Wayne or he's just the biggest dork in the world.
Dude, if he was Lil Wayne, dude, that'd be the coolest thing ever. Could you imagine?
What's his little brother? I'm assuming.
His little brother, dude. Lil Wayne is a fucking talent. When I was in high school, I liked Lil Wayne, but everybody was like, his bars don't make sense. And the older I got, the more I was like, they don't make sense, but god damn it, he has bars.
Right, we call that Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Your money.
That's who he's going to be possessed by next.
Yeah,
Next, he's Lil Wayne. Birthdays were a favorite of mine when they brought out the cake and my friend closed his eyes to make a wish. Even though it wasn't my birthday, I had always secretly wished for something before the candles blew out. Then at one of my friend's B-Day parties, it was a sleepover. My friend and I stayed up all night in his parents' basement, especially after what my friend pulled out. Tarot cards. At the time, I did not understand the ramifications of using a physical deck. Thought it was just a fun thing to pass the time, like knowing what your horoscopes were that day. My friend told me that he got the deck from a rougher side of town they had just opened. He's got this from a street gang of like hippies.
I won't tell you what side of town. Kanye reference.
Every episode, dude.
I won't. They smoked Newports. He just goes like full. They like voodoo a lot.
Yeah, it was a voodoo store. And the owner said that whoever owned the deck had a soul bound with it. I was debating whether or not to believe how valid this claim was, when suddenly he stuck the deck in my face and said,
"Wanna play cards?"
So we attempted to play scuffed versions of Slapjack on the floor. Definitely we're using the cards wrong, but since my friend had a weird fascination with customized playing cards, it didn't surprise me. The amount of times we were we hurt our hand by slamming our open palms on the cold cement. Some people call it cement. Led my friend to pull out a wood board with a blanket over it as it lay on the floor. As tiredness fell upon both of us, my friend asked a question.
So Whitney Houston, since you like
Whitney.
What?
Whitney Houston. Everybody's just fucking ragging on this guy all the time.
So Whitney Houston, since you like wishes so much, I have a question for you.
I looked up at him. He smiled.
What is a wish you've always wanted more than anything?
I paused, starting to ponder this out of nowhere question. As I looked down, I saw what looked to be a jack. I instinctively, without thinking, blurted out as I slapped the jack.
If I woke up tomorrow, I wish I was a completely different person just to get out of this boring small town.
The board broke a second after I impacted it. My friend had the most shocked look on his face at me, as if I betrayed his very trust. Then a book fell off the shelf and we both jumped in a panic. After a few seconds, we both laughed it off, realizing it was just a book. As I stood up, I lost my balance and tripped on the blanket. The board slid out from my foot and slammed into the wall, shattering into splintered chunks across the air of the room. I felt as if time had slowed, but I only remember seeing a few wooden lettered chunks flying up in that half second I was airborne. I fell to the floor as my... Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Oh, it's Ouija, like, scattered. I fell to the floor as my head slammed against the concrete and my vision went dark.
July 29th, 11:46 p.m. In an hour, I'm gonna kill myself. You know when you've been on a trip for so long, you start to feel homesick? I don't think I felt that way until this week. His child won't go to sleep, so here I am rocking her in my arms. I never thought I wanted kids, always been one of those self-proclaimed lone wolves who doesn't need anyone. Man, I was sorely mistaken. Every time I've been a daily parasite to a new host, I've been with someone. A parent, a coworker, a lover, a soldier. The list will go on forever. I thought I wanted to live forever, but now I only crave an ending. You will never see me again, yet you'll always know I can be there. I'm a ghost that never was, yet will always be in the back of your mind. I am the harbinger of bad days. Death is painful enough, yet I experience it every 24 hours. I never knew it was even possible to be numb to death. I always felt numb. Growing up, sadness always found a way to fester inside me, so no matter the situation, I would hang out with friends, yet I still feel alone. Something has been wrong with me long before I was forced on a one-way ticket to the world's worst roller coaster that never ends. It may be fun the first few times, but eventually you will die of starvation. If I stay up all night, can I stay as him? I'm afraid to try. Usually right at 11:59 p.m. I get the uncontrollable urge to close my eyes, even if I'm not tired, and then I open them a second later as a new person. I don't think I've slept in a week now to think about it. People always say they want more time in the day. They say, "Man, this year's gone by fast." No, it hasn't. You just don't pay attention to every second you spend. Time is currency. So if that's the case, I must be the richest man alive, right? It means absolutely nothing if you don't have no one to share it with. I might as well be locked in a vast empty void since I can't make lasting relationships anymore. They always disappear when the day is over, so no point in making friends, partners, or even enemies. I need a favor. If you're reading this, I need you to continue my story. It was the only way I can connect to someone for more than 24 hours. Depending on when you see this, I could have lived tens, dozens, and hundreds of thousands, a million different lives. And I need to know that I'm still out there somewhere. Since I've had so many names that I can't keep track of, and will have more in the future, my name now is Legion. Legion lives. So always remember, if you have an off day and you can't figure out why everything is going wrong, I have to apologize, because my name is Legion. It was my fault, and I'm sorry.
That's
What
a cool
goofy story. Yeah, it's fine.
That was goofy. It was
It's
goofy.
fine.
but
It's
it was-
goofy though. It's goofy. It reminds me. There was a TV show like that, wasn't there?
Legion? Yeah.
No. About like a guy being in different bodies. It's the meme. The meme of the guy who's like, "I'm retarded." Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. When the guy
I
looks.
have no idea what you're talking about.
What? You've never seen the meme of the guy? The guy looks in the mirror and he's like got Down syndrome and he like turns around and he's like, I'm retarded.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a Quantum Leap story.
Yeah.
Deathlord Gargothicon is actually Scott Bakula.
Yeah, dude. He's actually retarded. I mean, Scott Bakula. I liked it okay. It was good. It was good.
I liked it.
We haven't read anything that was like Quantum Leapy.
The part that won me over is that he referenced the worm story.
Yeah.
That, like, the narrator at the very beginning of the story is Deathlord Gargothicon, and then he gets taken over by the demons, like, temporarily through the story, but there's, like, it's like fourth wall breaking. Like, it was so fourth wall breaking for him to be like, I just got to see how my, like, worm story was doing. Like, I'd like to think that he was also signing on to HauntedRouter.
Yeah,
Shameless plug in the middle of our own thing.
He was definitely checking us out. He was
That's
waiting
what
for
it
me to
is.
say something unhinged, probably.
Yeah, that's what triggered it.
Yeah.
Is you were just like, you were like, penis snake or something like that,
Yeah.
and then he was like fell back.
Dude, that was the end of Legion. Was he watches this episode? He's like, I am done posting on the internet. I wasted 2 hours today just hearing a story about Phil. Phil was a primary part of this story, and he wasn't one word written about him.
That was some good shit. All right, so we'll move on to our next one.
Where did Stormtrooper and Abomination go? Well, before we go into it,
Oh yeah.
how
you're
much time do you have?
good. I got like 30 more minutes.
Okay, do you think we can get When Is a Door done in 30 minutes? That bitch is long, dude. No way, dude.
Okay, all right. Then we'll do Stormtrooper and Abomination. I still have that one pulled up,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we'll start the next episode with When Is a Door.
Yeah.
because then we're also still keeping the like different authors in an episode thing because
Yeah.
this is 2 Lowman 11 stories. All right.
Yeah, we'll do it. Our next story is from Lowman11-38. He's been posting pretty constantly. We haven't used his stories yet on the channel.
No, but he has been loading us up with
He's
them.
been loading us
for
up
sure.
with them, which we will get to them eventually. I remembered this one was going to be one because I posted on the Reddit that I was thinking about doing like narrations of stories that were smaller like this. I just realized we could just go through all the stories on the Reddit. We would just go through them all. Until the day
I like that
that
we've transitioned into that.
there is going to be one day that we're so big that we can't even keep up with it. But for right now, it's fun. I love that we even have people posting. I don't want to get through them all. And
Well, then I wonder how people will get on the show then.
yeah, no, gotta pay us. Now.
Little manila envelope or get on the casting couch, whatever.
Honestly, as long as I get a manscape.
That's how we put Deathlord Gargothicon in here.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
just
tell
kidding.
your friends, Gargothicon and Low Man. Since you pay us
Tell
money,
your
you might as
friends.
well already tell your friends to come in here. That way we can get a Manscaped sponsor. My balls are just unruly. They're unruly down there. It's like if the Amazon jungle was like worse than the Amazon jungle. It's like, you know, when you look at a field of wheat. Now, just imagine if it was overgrown like the Amazon jungle, and in the middle there was a volcano that was very small, like a ridiculously small volcano. that's the area of my manhoods. I need a Manscaped sponsor. Otherwise, they're just like, I can't even wear shorts to work because it hangs so low.
He's standing up right now, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for everybody at home, like, this is the camera is like here, and he's standing up because it's just when he sits down.
I can't sit down. It just shoots.
It's like a
straight up.
beanbag chair is sitting on him.
Yeah. It's honestly a problem, and I need to get it uncovered. So I need that Manscaped sponsor. But anyway, we're
It's
gonna
like the kudzu that grows around him.
Yep. Sometimes I use it like an Indiana Jones whip to go find treasure. Anyways, Stormtrooper and Abomination.
Passchendaele, 1917. Mud. The whole of the battlefield was a quagmire, a vision of hell. It was the rain. It had been ceaseless, as if God himself wanted to drown both sides of the warring combatants. Many did. In the holes, in the mud, in the craters, in the trenches. Depressions filled with putrid, fetid, poisonous corpse sludge. The toxic runoff from the gas attacks and the liquefied flesh of the rotten mutilated. Some would fall in and get their comrades would try to help, trying to pull them out. More often than not, they only succeeded in getting themselves pulled in. Then 2 drowned, sometimes 3 or 4. No one tried to pull anyone else out anymore. They just marched on. Attack, advance, move. The great god Pain lived in the mud. It lived in the mud that was absolutely stuffed with corpses, and it was pleased. And then the rain let up. The plan was as it was before, what it had been for some time. Artillery, barrage, gas, then move in. The plan was as simple as it was brutal. The Ernst Schwartz was quite callous to the whole affair. It went on and on in the background as he and his compatriots completed, then recompleted their ordnance checks. Their form-fitted gray heavy coats loaded with explosives, incendiaries, ammunition, grenades, knives, and a large heavy war club. Ghoulish gas masks. Schwartz thought it made them all look like plague doctors. The order was given. Schwartz and the others quickly pulled on their masks and then replaced their helmets. They hefted their incinerator units and went over the top and into no man's land. The gas and smoke and dust of detritus was an amalgam cloud, killing and concealing. The stormtroopers swam through it. They could hear Tommy dying inside his trench. They dove in and into an alien world, choking men among shattered defenses and their shattered brothers. Pieces of everything, everywhere. A titanic force had preceded them here and had left its familiar destructive mark. Schwartz held up his flamethrower and squeezed the trigger. He filled the trench with inferno. A fleeting flicker of blissful memory shot across his mind in that moment. He's back home, in Frankfurt, in his little college, the one his father had built with his grandfather. He's with Hilda. They'd just been married, and it was winter, and snowing, and nearing Christmas. He was beside the stove with the bellows, blasting air into the blazing cast iron to feed the flame. Hilda yawned, laughed, smiled. Blasting, she laughs. Blasting, feeding, flame. She asks him if he's trying to burn the house down, laughing. The stormtrooper filled the world in front of him with fire. Like a great dragon, he wreathed the shrieking enemy in a blazing bath that vaporized and carbonized, even as the victim still struggled to scream. He released the trigger. Tommy is cooked. All of them are done. But something was wrong. Everything was quiet. And he was alone. This doesn't make any sense. Cautiously, he advanced, ready. Suddenly, an enemy rounded a corner not 2 meters ahead of him. Tommy was yelling something in English. The stormtrooper didn't understand him, and he didn't care to. He raised his weapon and baptized the hysterical man that was trying to run and warn him in fire. A horrible sound escaped him as he roasted, perhaps still trying to warn of what he was coming, what was crawling towards them. The stormtrooper advanced past the still burning and writhing enemy. He came around the corner and beheld what his enemy was running from. His heart stopped dead in his chest. It was round and slick, with a coat of translucent brown slime. Every component within its spherical form was bent and broken and wriggling, like copulating bugs in a mass. The stormtrooper didn't think of Hilda or home or fireplace stoves anymore. He thinks of a rat king. A rat king made of man. Every twitching, spasming limb and face within the hulking, filling mass. tongues lolling, eyes rolling and winking out of step, protruding, sliming, broken limbs helped roll it along. Every mouth moaned and breathed loudly, wailing in perfect idiot anguish and unyielding torment. The abomination. It was born of this dead earth. It rolled toward him. The stormtrooper, blood as ice in his heart and veins, raised his weapon once more and squeezed the trigger. He went on. There were more battles, more carnage, until the war was over. Germany lost. He never told anyone of what he saw. The end.
Brilliant. Oh my god, that was so good.
That was
holy crap.
Horrific.
So one thing, there's a couple things I wanted to say, like right as it started. One, I don't think World War I is used enough as a horror, or used enough in media at all. World War I is super, like, one of the most, like, crazy scenes.
Underrated war, bro.
Underrated. But I mean, like, in media, it's really not used because, like, on the surface, it's kind of a boring war. On the surface, the horrors of that war were being in the trenches for days on end. And I remember when I was a kid, I watched the movie Legend of Bagger Vance, and the scene of them running across the no man's land was one of the most, like, crazy scenes I'd ever seen. And, like, how, like, I remember it, like, got that, like, heart racing, watching everybody die going across the, while machine guns mowed them down. And it's not even that violent. It's a PG-13 movie, so it's not really that big of a scene. But I just remember, like, that was crazy. And it's one of those things that I don't think war movies, there's not enough horror war movies.
No, there's not.
Because I remember, what was that movie, Overlord? You ever see Overlord?
Mm-mm.
There's a couple of really terrifying scenes in that movie, and one is just good sound design. And I remember they're flying in, right? They're flying in. They're all in the plane. We're getting ready to, like, jump or something. And the horror movie music comes on. It's like, bro. And then shots come in from the bottom of the plane. It's like, and it's like horror movie feeling, but they're just getting eviscerated in this plane. And I'm like, oh, and I remember thinking when I watched Overlord. Now, Overlord, from what I remember, is a pretty good movie. And I just remember, why hasn't this been done more? Because like even with, like, that movie goes obviously in a more horror movie direction, and so does this at the end. But that idea of, like, there's so much potential in, like, the body horror and, like, the visceral like violence of the war, using the war as a horror backdrop to, like, highlight the scary parts of war, and then to turn it into a horror story is just so good. And like, I have a thing with rats already. Rats scare me. So do mice. I have a phobia of them. And, like, Rat Kings, ugh. And the human Rat King is just brutal.
Well, like, it was foreshadowed so fucking well at the beginning, where there's corpses, there's parts of people, and there's living soldiers all sinking down into, like, the endless rain and the mud that it's churning up, and them walking over it constantly, driving these vehicles, digging constantly and stuff like that, with the rain coming in and changing the landscape all the time and stuff like that. Like you said, the great god Pain lived in the mud, and when he was finally pleased, the rain stops. That's when because the rain stops, they're like, now is the time to attack, and that's when it's coming up out of the trenches on the other side. Yeah, so and they run straight smack fucking into it.
Yeah, that is one of the, like, coolest turns for a short story to take. And it, like, the whole thing is written really well.
Yes.
The cutout from the fireplace blazing and blasting away, and, like, him hanging out with his wife at home in Germany. So then
she's like, "You're trying to burn the house down, ha ha ha," and he's like, "I love you, wife."
Yeah.
And then it's like, or it'd be like, "Ich lieben" or some shit,
like,
whatever.
That's what
I was about to say. She's like, "You're trying to burn the house down," and he's like, "You're hilarious."
Hilarious. Robin Williams in the background. Why don't you think there's enough comedians in Germany? Have you ever thought you killed all the funny people? But no, I just loved I loved one, World War One as a backdrop. I loved two, the way it like built upon this idea of who we're looking at, the scenery. It feels fleshed out, and then to have just this, it's just a cutout of war. Well, and this is like building the scene like we were talking about in the last episode with that other guy. This one had the understanding of why we were here. We were here to experience the horrors of what this soldier saw that was unexplainable to any normal man. And you're just seeing this cut out in history. And you understand why you're here, what led you to here, what's the purpose. It's so perfect in every... I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't add any more.
I know, dude. I could sit and break this down. Like, we could sit and break this down for a whole other half hour. Like, I like that his response to it was like the like entrenched soldier's response, which is kill it and keep moving.
Yeah.
And then you just keep doing that until the war's over.
Yeah, that's
like man, it's so good. The story was so good.
It was so good. Like that, you're 100% right. That you just gotta kill it and move on. That's what you gotta do.
Because I think maybe I'm not sure if I mean, like, okay, I'll get the obvious reference because some people in the comments are gonna be like, Amnesia the Bunker. So like, this is kind of like a setup like Amnesia the Bunker. We got the World War I horror game, but the monster in this is way cooler than the Bunker. I will have to say that.
I couldn't get that far in the Bunker.
I couldn't either. I gave it up after a little bit.
Well,
and I can't play Trench Tales. I want to play Trench Tales so bad, but my computer won't fucking run it. I can try it again soon.
There's another one too. It's like that a twin stick shooter, but it's like a horror.
That's Trench Tales.
Is it Trench Tales?
Yeah. That's the World War I one that just came out recently. It's kind of like got horror elements to it and stuff.
No. It's not this one.
Well, while you're looking that up, I wanted to mention also that this reminds me very much, as a tabletop gamer, of Trench Crusade, which is like a new like miniatures war game that came out, where it is like absolute horror to the max, like grimdark shit that's set in a World War I setting, and I fucking love the lore and everything of that. So this was like a cool little, like, I don't know if it was intentional, but I'm calling it as a Trench Crusade Easter egg for the channel.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Right. I that's for tabletop.
Is it like kind of like Risk, or what is the like?
No, it's like, do you know how like Warhammer's played, where it's like you have like an army, like, and like your units do different things and stuff like that, and you set up like terrain on the board, so like it changes every time. With Trench Crusade, you're supposed to set up like ruined houses and huge trenches for people to fight in and stuff like that. It's pretty good. I ran the playtest rules, and I just like made a bunch of proxy minis at my house. It's got a good rule system to it. I recommend it for any tabletop gamers who have stumbled on this. Yeah,
it does sound pretty interesting.
And don't know about Trench Crusade. Yeah, dude, I'll send you a link, because just the artwork for the lore and stuff like that is enough to make anybody interested.
Jesus. Conscript! I found it, Conscript!
That's not it. Keep looking.
No, it's Conscript.
I'm just kidding.
100% Conscript.
Let me see. Now I'm Googling it.
Yeah, Conscript, dude. Jesus. Yeah, Conscript. I remember I wanted to play Conscript, but it wasn't really my type of game.
Neat.
And like this game had like a very like, if you look at like the pictures and stuff, it has that gritty feel, and I was like, that was what I was thinking of when I was playing this. I've seen a lot of videos on Conscript, and I've like it just the violence and the brutality of how Conscript looked. Now I don't know if Conscript's World War I or World War II, to be honest.
I'd play this.
But it was like, it had like an inventory system like Resident Evil, and it had kind of like a horror vibe, and you had to deal with like all sorts. I think it was World War I, because like one of the enemies is like rats.
Yeah, I'm reading the
oh yeah, I got the gas mask on
description.
Yeah, it's definitely like the same vibe. And I think what brought it to me is like the description of the gas mask, and you look at the cover of the game with the German guy in the gas mask. It's very, very much what I was thinking of. And because I when I saw Conscript come out, because a lot of people talked about that game because it was kind of like an indie out of the nowhere hit, I just remember thinking, like, why isn't this done more? Why isn't there more games that just kind of lean into the action a little bit like a top-down game would, but do it from like a perspective that I'll actually play the game, like a third-person action game, like a Max Payne style shooting game in World War One.
Look into Trench Tales, man. That's in early access right now. I just looked it up. The demo isn't on there anymore, and my computer was sticking and lagging and stuff. But definitely try that out.
I remember I played what was that one? No, it was like there's one that starts in World War One and then becomes like a fucking you go to hell and shoot things.
Oh my god,
Necrovision,
dude.
Necrovision.
Yes, yep.
What a terrible game. What a
I have that. Yeah.
So dumb. So dumb. The Necrovision would have been a good game if it gave you the gauntlet at the beginning of the game instead of halfway through. It would have been the perfect game because when you replay it on New Game Plus, it's fun. But the aiming's really janky. Everything's really janky about it, and it plays almost like a Serious Sam game. And you have single shot World War One weapons. So you have all these people just charging you, going crazy, and you're like, ugh. And then you get the gauntlet, and the game becomes completely different because it's like full action, big explosions. You got all these vampire guns and stuff, and you're doing all this cool damage, and then you're like, the second half of the game just seems to be over in no time. And you're like,
I'm trying to find. I thought there was another game that was that reminded me a lot of that, like a world. I don't know, whatever. Ad Infinitum. Ad Infinitum is that way too. That's like a weird ass game where you start off in the trenches and then it like teleports you back and you're like a little boy in a manor house or something like that. But anyway, I'm keeping you over time. Yeah. All right, man.
All right, we talked about enough World War One games. That video was awesome. Or that story was awesome. Out of the two, that's my favorite. I mean, I appreciate the time that was spent by Lord Gargothicon. I love him. Big fan of what he does. But I mean, two different stories. But for the horror beats, the horror that lands, I think that World War One does it. It's simple, it's sweet, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, Lowman came in fucking hot,
swinging
with a badass story. Yeah. So we'll definitely be getting some more Lowman stories, and with him being a regular contributor. Yeah, we're getting all of them and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get more to Lord Gargothicon because I like.
But I'm saying, if you guys are trying to be the favorite,
stop trying to fleece our audience for money, Ben.
Send me money,
dude. Darth Lord Gargoth, or what was his name? Legion Lives is going to take over your body and get rid of all your finances if you keep doing this.
You're right.
So you need to be a good boy, or Legion Lives will get you. But with that, guys, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Make sure to send this to your friends, your family. I'm sure your grandma would really like the story about Phil. Make sure to do all of that stuff and rate us on Spotify as always. And until next time, stop gooning in the shower, dude, or in the closet. The shower's fine. It's got to drain.
You know what? I'm gonna goon even harder now.
You are a gooning in the closet freak, dude. You need to stop it. All right, catch you guys later.